Hey guys, we're back for another workout. Today we're going to be using the ball for a full body workout, standing and on the mat, but we're going to start off standing. So when you're ready, you're going to grab the ball and you're just going to place it between the thighs to prepare. And we're going to have our feet about a little wider than our hip distance apart. And then from here, I just want you to take a couple breaths in as we find a good spine position. So tucking the tailbone under, the back will be nice and flat. We'll take an inhale in. And then an exhale out, rounding the shoulders down and back, relaxing them away from the ears. And then from here, we're going to go into some squats. So make sure your toes are pointed straight forward towards the front edge of your mat, not in or out to prepare. And then as we take our inhale, we're going to lower the hips down into your squat. Exhale, come up. Inhale down to your squat. Exhale, come up. And look at where your knees drive. Make sure they don't go too far over the toes as you come into your squats. We're going to be here for 3. 2 more. On the next one, we're going to come down and hold. We're going to do little pulses up and down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Little pulses of the ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll come up to standing where we're going to change our foot position up a little bit. So now we're going to externally rotate the feet. So our toes will be pointing out, and now the inner thighs will be holding onto the ball a little bit more. We're going to do the same thing here. Inhale to send the hips down. Exhale to come back up. So this is kind of like our footwork to start the class off today. 3 more. 2 more. On the next one, we'll go down into that hold so we can pulse it up and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and pulse the ball. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come up to standing. From here, let's stay in this position with the external rotation. We'll take a breath in. We're going to exhale, come down into our squat, hold it, and we're just going to lift the right ankle and then the left. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and then you can come up to standing. Give yourself a little pedal of your feet. We'll take the ball out here, and we're going to change up our foot position. So for this one, I'm going to come a little bit closer to the front edge of our mat. We're going to be doing some single leg work. So we're going to go into our lunges. We're going to hold the ball right at the chest to start, and then our elbows are going to be slightly out wide, but your shoulders relaxed. So we're going to send the knee back, drive it down towards the floor, come back up to center. Good. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Let's stay on this side. We're going to add on to it just a little bit, still with that ball in position. We're going to drive back into our lunge, hold it, so you can exhale, twist to the right, twist to the left, come back up to center. We're going to do 2 more like that. Exhale, twist, exhale, twist, back to the center. Last one. And then we'll come back to center, pedal it out. We're going to switch it over to the other side. So same thing, we're going to start off with 6 of those lunges. So you'll step the right foot back up to center. And you can see when I come back up to center, I'm just coming onto the toes. So it's a light stance for your last 3. 2 more. Last one. Come back up to center, and now we're going to add those rotations. So we'll step back into our lunge. We're going to hold it. Exhale, twist to the right. Exhale, twist to the left, and then come back up to center. I got my left and right switched up. So let's try it again. Come down. Exhale, twist left, and then right. Back up to center, last one. Back up to center, good. We'll step to the back of our mat. We can take an inhale, reach up to the ceiling. Exhale, I'm just going to roll down to the floor, place my ball on the floor. It'll help me get a little extra stretch in the hamstrings if I'm a little tight and can't reach the floor quite yet. Maybe step it out a little bit further and just roll the ball away and get that stretch in the upper spine. Bring it back, rounding the spine. And then I'm going to take the ball, just place it right in between the ankles as I walk it out to my plank. Lift the hips up for that pike. Come back into my plank. I'm going to drop the knees, and then you can just sit your heels, hips back to your heels for a little stretch. Take that ball out, reach it to the front. And then let's come up to seated. So we'll just swing those legs around, and we're going to come all the way down flat to our back so we can do some bridging. So let's start off here with a nice flat back. Our feet are going to be flat on the floor to start, and we're going to take the ball first, and we're going to place it in between our thighs. So bring that ball right in between the thighs. Arms can relax down by our sides. And I want you to just take a few breaths in. Exhale out. And on this next inhale, I want you to kind of squeeze into that ball. As you squeeze into that ball, you're going to round your pelvis, and we're going to go into that pelvic tilt that we learned earlier this week. And then as you inhale, you're just going to send that pelvis forward. Exhale, give your ball a little squeeze, tilt the pelvis. Inhale back to a neutral. Let's do that one more time so you can see when I exhale, I squeeze the ball around the pelvis. That's going to start to activate the pelvic floor muscles a bit more. And then back to neutral. Perfect. Now let's bring the arms down, just plant them right and comfortable into your mat. And let's go into some articulating bridge. So rather than just having the legs relaxed with that ball in the middle, we're going to always keep just a small squeeze of that ball on with our thighs. So we're just going to keep a little light squeeze of the ball the whole time. We're going to start with that pelvic tilt. So anchoring that low spine into the mat, and then continue to squeeze the ball as you lift yourself up one vertebrae at a time, all the way up into a high bridge. Take another breath in at the top. Melt the spine down, one vertebrae at a time. Perfect. So that's your articulating bridge. Let's add on to a little bit. So on the way up, I want you to really squeeze the ball, maybe half an inch more and more as you lift. So with each vertebrae that starts to lift off the mat, you're going to add more and more squeeze to your ball. At the top is when you should have that tight squeeze on the ball. Really feel the glutes engage. And then you're going to melt down and slowly release the pressure that you have on the ball. So you go back to neutral spine, imprint the spine. We're scooping it up and we're squeezing, squeezing, squeezing as tight as you can at the top. And then melting down, loosening up the pressure. We're going to do one more like that. Pelvic tilt, scoop it up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Melt it down, loosen up. Perfect. Now we're here at the bottom. Let's switch it up and let's go into our hinge bridge. So now we're going to be lifting the hips up in a flat back motion. So no more articulation of the spine. So we're going to lift the hips, lower for a tap. Lift the hips, lower for a tap. Good. Let's do 4, 3, 2 more. Last one. And then we're going to relax all the way down. Take a little pause there, taking a couple breaths. And now we're going to activate the ball a little bit. So we're going to add one pulse of the ball at the top and then lower the hips down for a tap. So we lift, squeeze, lower, tap. Lift, squeeze, lower, tap. For 2, and last one. And then let's come up into that last lift, that last bridge, and we're going to squeeze and hold that ball for 8 seconds. Squeeze and hold as tight as you can. 5 more seconds. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Last 3, 2, 1, and then you can lower all the way down. Give your ball a break and just cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Pull in for a little stretch. And then we're going to switch to the other side, crossing the right ankle over the left. Perfect. And then let's relax all the way down. We're going to take the ball and place it in between our shins now. So halfway in between the knee and the ankle is where you want that ball to be. And let's just relax the arms down, press them into the mat. We're going to lift our legs up to a tabletop. And then from here, I want you to point the toes towards the opposite end of the room or the opposite end of your mat. We're going to take a breath in, and we're just going to dip the toes down. Exhale, lift them up. If you want to add on a little bit, you can add your chest lift. Holding your chest lift, or you can add in your chest lift every time you dip the toes down if you want to add that. So you can curl up, lower down. So a couple options there for progressions if you're ready for that in your practice right now. We're going to do 2 more. Last one. Perfect. Relax your legs down. Take a breath in. And then let's prepare for our next exercise where we're going to stretch the legs up to the ceiling and we're going to go into a lower and lift. So we're going to lower the legs down and lift. Lower the legs down. Exhale, lift. Let's add on to it. So we're going to inhale, lower down, squeeze the ball. 1, 2, and lift. So now you're using those inner thighs. Lower down, squeeze the ball. 1, 2, and lift. Good. 3 more like that. Lower, squeeze. 1, 2, and lift. Last 2. Lower, squeeze. 1, 2, and lift. Last one. Pulse, pulse, and lift. Good. Relax the legs. Take a little pause there. Perfect. And then from here, if you want, you can add a chest lift with the hands behind the head, your choice, or you can keep the head and chest down with those palms pressing into the mat. Let's bring the legs into tabletop. We're going to curl the head and chest up, draw that belly in, and we're going to bend and stretch. Stretch and bend. Let's add on stretch, pulse, pulse, bend. Stretch, pulse, pulse, bend. Good for 4. Stretch, pulse, pulse, and 3. Last 2. And last 1. Good. Let's relax it down and then let's take it up a notch. And we're going to add in our double leg stretch, but with a twist. So double leg stretch is when you reach the arms away from the legs. But from here, we're going to grab that ball in between and switch it between the calves and your palms. So let's start off with that ball in between your calves. Curl your head and chest up like you're bringing yourself into a little ball. We're going to stretch it all away. When we bring it back to center, grab the ball, stretch it away. Bring it in, place the ball back, stretch it away. That's it. Nice. Don't forget your breathing. Exhale, stretch. Inhale your ball. Exhale, stretch. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Perfect. Place it down. Give yourself a little stretch. You can drop your knees to one side for a twist. And then take it over for a twist to the other side. And then you can round yourself up to seated. Let's do some side kneeling stuff here. So side kneeling is different. We haven't done that quite yet. For side kneeling, we're going to start off with our left knee down and our right leg is going to be stretched out. We want to bring that hip right over the knee. So this is a lot of core stability, but we've been working on that, so it's perfect. All right, let's start off with just a little bit of rotation. So we're going to grab that ball in between the palms. Start here, and we're just going to take a little twist to the left. Good. And a little twist to the right. Perfect. So we're squeezing those obliques to twist, like you're wringing out the spine. Perfect. Let's just do one more to each side. Last one. Perfect. So let's add on to our rotation a little bit. So we're going to lengthen the arms through the rotation. So we're going to take the ball up overhead diagonal, rotation down to the thigh. Good. Up overhead diagonal, down to the thigh, keeping those hips nice and square to the floor. Good. Let's do two more. Last one. Great. And then relax in the center here. If you need to, in between, sit back on your hips. That's totally fine. Let's take the arms up overhead. We're going to do a lateral bend. So we want to think of lengthening in the spine. So the crown of the head is being pulled up to the ceiling by a magnet. Now, when you reach your arms up to the ceiling, don't bring your shoulders into your ears. Keep them nice down and relaxed. And we're going to take a nice bend over to the right. Small bend over to the left. Now, if this is a little bit too much for you, you can bring the palms to the chest. And we'll take a bend over to the right and a bend over to the left. Good. One more to each side. Last one. Perfect. Let's come back to the center. Now we're going to take our left hand down to the floor, and we're going to place this ball right in front of us with our palm pressing into it. Now we want to keep nice length through the spine. So we're going to keep the chest open. I'm going to bring that ball right in place so that I can stay maintaining my balance. And we're just going to lift this right leg and lower. Lift and lower. Good. For 4. And 3. Last 2. Last 1. Nice. Let's switch it up a little bit. We're going to lift that leg to chest height. We're just going to do a little sweep forward. Flex the foot. Sweep it back. But try to keep the hips balanced. Sweep it forward. Flex the foot. Sweep it back. Point the toe. And flex back. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. And then we'll bring the foot down. Come back up to center. You can sit the hips back. Give yourself a little stretch. And then let's switch it over to the other side. So we'll take that right knee down onto our mat. Left leg's going to be extended. Perfect. Let's start with that rotation. So we're going to bring the ball to the chest. Standing up or kneeling up nice and tall. I'm just going to exhale, twist to the right. Take it over to the left. Perfect. These are your rotations using the obliques. One more to each side. Good. Now let's add on to it. Let's add that arm lengthening so that we can increase the rotation a little bit. So you're going to take it up to the ceiling, rotate it down to the thigh. Exhale, twist it up, breath in, and twist down. Keeping the hips stable. Nice. 2 more. Last 1. Perfect. We come back to center, or you can choose if you have that ball at chest height for your lateral bend, or extend it up overhead. So we exhale, bend to the right, and then take it over to the left. Back to the center, to the right, and then to the left. Good. Now to the right, and to the left. And remember, you can bring the ball down to chest height if it's too much to have it up overhead, which is totally fine. We'll do one more here. And last one. Good. Let's come to center. We're going to take that right palm down and we're just going to bring that ball into the floor. Make sure those hips are stacked and that belly's drawn in, chest is nice and open. We're going to start with that lower and lift, lower and lift, lower and lift. Good. 4 more. Last 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Let's go into our forward kick. So remember, we point the toe forward, flex the heel back, trying to keep the hips square, using the abs to keep you lifted and stacked over the hips. 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Perfect. We'll come back to center, and we're just going to come down to our mat, lying face down or prone, we call it. So we'll lie face down, and we're going to stretch the legs, squeeze the glutes together, and we're just going to take the ball and roll it away to start. Your head and chest can be down and relaxed. We're going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, you're just going to lift up into an extension of the spine. The glutes are active. The legs are stretched. The toes are pointed. And you only lift to your comfort level. Make sure you're keeping the shoulders down and back as you lift up into your spine extension. Don't overextend your spine or bring unnecessary tension to the shoulders and the neck. 1 more. Perfect. Relax it all the way down. We'll take our elbows down to the mat, palms down to the mat. We're just going to press up and back onto all fours. You can shift the hips a little bit, making some circles. Back to the heels or whatever feels good for you. And then we're going to come to seated. We're going to do some seated work using the ball, but now with our legs extended. So this is going to really challenge the strength of your abdominals and your core, because now you're sitting upright with those legs extended in front of you. So let's go ahead and start off squeezing the thighs together if that's comfortable, and I'm going to flex the feet so my toes can be pointed up to the ceiling. We're going to start off with a lateral bend. So sit up really tall. Remember that magnet pulls the crown of the head straight up to the ceiling. Reach the arms up. Shoulders are down and back. We're going to take a bend over to the right. Inhale back to center. Try to keep the opposite hip flat onto the mat. So we exhale, bend. Inhale, center. Good. And that bend comes from the middle and upper spine, so that lumbar spine keeps you anchored. 1 more to each side. Perfect. Come back to center. Relax your arms. Relax the legs a little bit. You'll feel the hip flexors kind of start to fatigue pretty quickly in this position. Let's do 1 more exercise here. We're going to take the arms up overhead. This time we're going to twist to the left. If you're comfortable with that, you can take a little hinge back. Over-engage the abs a little bit more. Come back to center, and then we'll take a twist to the right. Engage the abs a little bit deeper. Back to the center. Twist, hinge, center, facing front. We'll take that twist to the right. Very good. 1 more to each side. Last one. And then from here, we're going to round it all the way forward. Place that ball right over the ankles. And then we'll roll the ball up to reset the spine. Let's do that 2 more times. Roll it away. Roll it to reset the spine. 1 more. Very good. And then after that last one, you are all done. Thank you so much for doing this workout with me today. If you're enjoying the challenge so far, please share your progress with me on social media. I would love to see. I will see you guys tomorrow for another day of our 21-day challenge. Bye.